When did Charles meet Anne Morrow? A. Before he took off from Long Island. B. After he worked for an airline. C. When he was forced down in an ocean inlet. D. After he received the first Distinguished Flying Cross. Or E. When visiting his parents. Let's begin by locating where in the text Lindbergh meeting Anne Morrow is mentioned. We see this at the end of the third paragraph, which tells us he met his future wife, Anne Morrow, in Mexico, where her father was the United States ambassador. Let's go through our choices and see if what they claim matches up with the sequence stated in the text. A. Before he took off from Long Island. We see Lindbergh taking off from Long Island earlier in the same paragraph. On May 20th, 1927, Lindbergh took off from Long Island, New York. As this was the starting point of Lindbergh's flight across the Atlantic and he only met Anne after this flight, this can be marked as incorrect. As we can see from the text, it is inaccurate. B. After he worked for an airline. We actually see at the beginning of the fourth paragraph that Charles and Anne Lindbergh worked for various airline companies together, so it can't be that he met her after working for an airline. This, too, can be marked as incorrect. C. When he was forced down in an ocean inlet. We see towards the end of the fourth paragraph that Lindbergh was forced down in a small ocean inlet. However, looking at the context of the paragraph, we see the Lindberghs, that is, Charles and Anne, were traveling together, so it wouldn't make sense to say that he met her here. This can be marked as incorrect. D. After he received the first Distinguished Flying Cross. We see in the third paragraph that Lindbergh received the first Distinguished Flying Cross after crossing the Atlantic. The paragraph goes on to say that for a long time after that, Lindbergh toured the world as a U.S. Goodwill Ambassador, and that he met his future wife, Anne Morrow, in Mexico. Because this option agrees with a sequence of events in the text, this could very well be our answer, but we're going to go on just in case. E. When visiting his parents. The text actually makes no mention of Lindbergh visiting his parents, so this can be marked as incorrect, and D, after he received the first Distinguished Flying Cross, can be marked as our final answer.